So where actually what we do is this is a kind of technology where they can do ETL, they can do planning, they can do data modeling as well as reporting. You believe you trust on me or not, but before 6 or 7 years, BW was ruling the market. One basic problem of BW is it is tightly integrated with SAP. Actually, it was an advantage long back, and now it becomes a disadvantage. And other part of BW is it is not completely user friendly one. The user reports and whatever the user interface screens are not at all friendly, and then none of the business users are going with BW. Other than that, technical implementation and the conceptual one, in either you look into ETL perspective or in planning perspective or in warehouse perspective, everything it was a perfect model. So now the scenario is it's a disk-based storage model. If you wanted to learn again the disk-based storage model, you can be in Teradata. So BW is one of the disk-based data modeling technique, which was proposed by SAP. So now the current scenario is people are migrating from BW to HANA. So all the BW consultants right now learning HANA and they have to move to HANA. It's not optional for them, it's a mandatory one. So in short, why we compare HANA from BW to HANA is BW can't control the big data issues. So SAP is also facing the big data instant ERPs. So BW cannot control those issues, so that we are moving towards HANA. For example, in a real-time case scenario, when we use BW, we are able to generate the results after 12 hours. When we are able to use HANA, we are able to generate within the 3 minutes. So that's the difference between BW and HANA. My suggestion for you would be, you can learn BW, that's not a mistake, but learn HANA. That is more important because SAP's complete future, especially in terms of reporting, analytics, data storage, everything lies within HANA. This is the current scenario of SAP. Do I answer your question?
Yes, and actually I have a kind of a thought which might be almost into the HANA or out of HANA boundary. I don't know. Like it's like, is it a HANA is based out of cloud or is it like a file structure storage, and what is it storage?
Good question. So SAP sells HANA in two different ways. Okay, either on-premise or in a cloud premises. Okay, if it is on-premise, they have a set of certified vendors, which includes Cisco, which includes IBM, Dell kind of things. So when you ask for a demo, each one comes and praise their product, and they will scold others' product. For example, if you call Dell, they will scold Cisco. Cisco comes and scold IBM. So this happens when you go for an on-premise installation. But what happens is they have a set of hardware architecture that was given by SAP, so they have tested it and they will install on your premises. So on that appliances, you can install your software and you can start proceeding on. This is the on-premise one. So one hard thing about SAP HANA is the administration perspective is a little bit high on terms of maintenance. So it's really high, no doubt in that. So what SAP tried is other option is the cloud options. So you can use Amazon, you can use Microsoft, or you can use CloudShare. You can use anything for SAP HANA as a vendor product. You can sell it as SAS, software as an architecture, so software as a service. So where Amazon charges you $4 per hour, and it was a perfect architecture where you can boot your system within the next 20 hours. Sorry, the next 1 hour you can boot your complete module. So that is the advantage of cloud. So other advantage of cloud is you will be paying only at the time of usage. Other than that, you will not use your system. So data center is utilized only when you switch on your system. It's like a fan or electric and appliances what you use in your home. So you just switch on your fan, your electrical bills are charged, and when you switch off your fan, you are nowhere charged. That kind of architecture they build, and a lot of startup companies, even the large enterprises, move to cloud. So that's the success story of cloud. However, when you discuss in terms of in the perspective of security point of view, somewhere people are still thinking about cloud. That's not my opinion. Actually, they are tightly secured, and there is no doubt. But still, due to security, on-premise installation is going on, but it was slightly going down. Our cloud installations are going up. So this is the story of HANA installation in short.
So I have a question here. So the thing is like when you say on-premises and off-premises, like when you say the vendors like Dell, Cisco, or IBM, SoftLayer, whoever it is, like whoever provides the cloud, are When you say it's on premises, is it like in our servers, or is it like they host the cloud and like an IaaS as infrastructure as a service, or SaaS as a software as a service? Software as a service mainly motivates and promotes the design, something like I install the software and I sell you a piece of software for a license, and you use it and pay for me how much you used it. It's called DTUs in kind of cloud. So is it kind of that situation when someone is helping us, like if we ask IBM, for example, they came to us and they produce their software that's a cloud for IBM, and we ask them to share the storage, and we are going ahead with IBM. So when they say like on premises, what kind of infrastructure I can expect, and off premises, like if we ask Amazon and they present Microsoft Azure, AWS, and SQL, all those things from their side. So how is these two are different? They might be equal, but they are a little bit different on premises and off-site premises. How can you just determine? This is like a little bit of confusion between me always. Like when we speak of HANA, some people are talking about cloud, some people are talking about some other softwares, and it's all like in a big mess for me. So that's the reason I'm in here, like learning all these concepts.
Yeah, actually, it's a brilliant question, actually, frankly speaking. So, in short, what is the difference between on-premise and offshore and off-premises is? So, basically, SAP sells the product. Actually, license cost is completely based on the volume what you use. So, basically, they start with 64 GB of RAM initially. So, when it comes up in-memory computing, they will sell at the cost of 64 GB RAM, minimal requirement is. So what happens when you go with IBM or Dell is, so you can mention the record space for your storage as well as for your operational cost. So when you sell them, when you say them these things, so they will prepare an architecture. For example, how many CPUs, how many RAMs, how it's going to be connected, what is the input output storage device, so how it gets clusters are getting communicated. So everyone has the design, whatever the SAP gives, they are not going to alter that. Only thing what they are going to do is their hardware products are going to be replaced. That's the only thing. Dell uses their own product, IBM uses their own product. In terms of architecture perspectives, no one is going to change it. For example, here you don't have the disks, right? Actually, you have the disk that's at the back end, but the front end operation is completely with the RAM. So the architecture is completely what SAP provides. When you compare the same with the cloud, again the same concept comes up. You can design in terms of Amazon, they have R2.x large, M2.x large. So each name of the server name, each data center name specific. So how many CPUs are going to have? So what is the input output speed, and what is the support requirement? What you want to really do? So that kind of things was supported by Amazon or Microsoft. So this is the basically difference between the on-premise and the cloud. So when you dig in further, so what happens in on-premise installation is you need to spend for maintenance, you need to have the HANA administrators, you need to have the HANA production support kind of people. However, in terms of cloud, you need not take care of maintenance section. Even production support is there for both the areas, but in terms of maintenance, you don't need to worry about that. Was taken by care by your cloud vendor. So this is the basic difference between these two.
Okay.
Do I make my point clear?
Right, yes, a little bit clear. Actually, I have one more question. Sorry I'll put a lot of questions because I'm start learning and I have a lot of things in my mind. Which I'm trying to.
I welcome that.
Yes, yeah.
Please start.
I want to join all those loose ends, and so that it make a big string, and at least I know like what I am trying to learn and what I am achieving in the end of the day. So like when you say like yeah, I got the cloud concept of HANA and implementing HANA and in premises. So do you mean that when we are implementing on site and in premises in our store implemented the HANA and hiring the HANA guys, that's app that I mean administrators, is you say like it's going away slowly because of the cost bearing, and the off premises are coming inside like in giving to someone else and ask them to maintain that, and we pay for the maintenance, and what kind sort of high availability we are asking, is it a 5 nines or 4 nines, whatever it is we are paying for that. You use it as much you go like that.
Yeah.
Right. So in my state. Right. Yeah. What I mean is like, is it good for me to learn? There are a few other things which I need to know if I'm on premises site manager or I'm going to administer the offsite, because offset when you say it's on a cloud and we are not going to do any kind of administration. We just keep on asking them, this is what we have to do. But as a DBA, cloud DBA or not as a physical server DBA, there I feel like there is a responsibility for any database administrator or any database guy to look over his cloud environment or look over his physical environment, no matter what it is. So do you feel the same, or is there any kind of a difference in between that?
Almost whatever you said is almost fine. There is no contradiction actually. So adding to your points, what I would suggest is there is a hard requirement for HANA administration. What happens is there are few, actually there are, you may get some HANA administrative profiles, but administration perspective is very less people are knowledgeable, frankly speaking. So in terms of designing, in terms of administration perspective, there are very less people, frankly speaking. So even if you look at US or in UK market, so there are very less people in terms of knowledge. So in that case, what I suggest is, so there are less people for making administration. So the cloud would be suggestible at that point of moment. And other thing is, in terms of data security, you can have protection in your on-premise environment, but development qualities you can maintain in cloud because you no need to worry about data security at that perspective. Even NASA is maintaining their data at cloud. Why not we? So that is actually the requirement. So frankly speaking, what I would suggest is, yes, administrators, as you suggested, both of the places administrators are going to work on, because the same work is going to happen. But the thing is, if the administrator is sticking to some cloud administrators, how they will come out? So that's the question. So definitely they will not come out, right? In that perspective, there is a strong requirement and there is very less people available in the market, even for the development as well as for the administrators. So there are very less people available in the market. So what in that case, so if you don't get developed, what will you do? You can move over there, right? And especially for the startups. So startups will not have all the time availability for HANA systems. So they will use HANA systems for a short number of hours, and they will do what they will develop their products and they will develop their applications within that span of time. So they need not pay for the complete maintenance of it because they require it for a less number of hours. In that case, you consume a lot of money when you deploy your products in cloud. So that is the main thing. So there are a lot of startups investing money in HANA and they are making business out of it. In that place, cloud is successful. So when you speak in terms of large enterprises like AT&T, like Cisco, so they have everything in there on the on-premises. They don't want to go to a store. It depends upon the client exactly. So in terms of SAP, so they have both options. So which is best, which is bad, people has to decide.
So like, I mean, like you say, like instead of well, which title you mean to say, like to suits best? Is it like an SAP HANA administrator or SAP HANA architect? Which one goes more into the market? Which one suits better for me? Yeah, kind of for me
Definitely
experience.
architect. Definitely architect.
Architect, okay.
Because why I am not supporting for admin is actually you can't learn administration, no doubt in that. But when you go for installation, your hardware cost is really high for practice, right?
Okay.
So no one gives that much of hardware cost for learning. That's the one thing. Primarily, that's the practical utility what I faced when I was started learning. In terms of architecture is where the data comes from, how to model the data, what systems are involved, so what would be the data processing technique, as well as how to model the data, as well as how to you are going to make a product out of it, and how you are going to sell it out. So this is where the real business lies. I'm not criticizing anywhere about the administration perspective, but when you ask to score or when you ask to rank these things, so definitely my voting is for first is for architecture and second is for admin. Because
So
admin takes care only about admin activities and architect takes care of development and admin activities.
yes,
So that's it.
that's what actually I was about to ask. Yeah, that's what actually my strong guts and feelings also. So that's so you're gonna provide me the training for the architecture, both the development
Yes.
part as well as an admin part, right?
Yes, definitely. In administration part, not in installation perspective, we will cover it up with securities, roles, configurations, how to configure with the cloud, everything we will look at. So other than that, in administration perspective, we are not going to spend a lot of time because of the practical hardware issues. So I will share the SAP documents, whatever I have. So I will share my knowledge, whatever I do in administration perspective, that I can share with you. But other than that, don't expect, especially installation perspective. That is not practically possible.
Is there any way that I can see it, or you might have any kind of tutorials outside of Google or somewhere like, or video tutorials, so that where HANA, how they are installing it, all those
Yeah,
things, and what are the
that I have. That I
recommendations.
have.
Yes.
That I
Yeah,
have.
that would
Only
be,
thing is,
I understand that this, like, we are not in a company, or like we are a big organization like SAP itself sells its own products and trainings as well. I can understand it. And you can like exactly do the installations and all those things in our firm. So it's not possible like, so at least we need to have some training tutorials and all those things, so that we at least have an idea like how this goes and what are the recommended things we can gather before doing all those installations or administration part of the SAP.
definitely,
Uh,
definitely I will do.
right. Good. Good.
Okay. So let me share something to you other than that with our HANA service. Okay. So most of the things we are almost discussed, but still I wanted to make you sure. So what we are going to propose you. So how it is different from the market. Okay. So you are able to see my screen, right?
Right.
Yeah. So we are going to look at data warehouse synapses and big data architecture. So you know what is data warehousing a little bit, but not all the candidates. So we'll start with star schema and snowflake schema and how it was converged and how it was made in SAP HANA. So we will look into that perspective. So HANA is really the HANA is a place where we do the data modeling, data warehousing kind of stuff. So how we are going to do that? So we'll compare the basics with HANA's advanced engineering concepts. So that's what we do in the overview. In terms of big data reference architecture, is you are being with Teradata, so you know a little bit about it. Actually, you know a lot many things in big data architecture. But we'll compare from the open source perspective. We'll compare with the Oracle. We'll compare SAP. We'll compare IBM. We'll compare with the EMCs. So how everyone is implementing their big data reference architecture and what are the tools used around HANA. So that's what we look into. Okay, that's what we'll be doing. So next part is HANA overview. What we are going to do is everyone knows HANA is faster, but we need to look into in terms of administration perspective why it is faster, why it is performing good. So that perspective is really important when you go for real-time implementation. Since the poor Oracle guys always comes to you and fight for their own products because they do have some product and comparatively they are the cheapest one in the market, so there is a lot of possibility to them to win this. When you are bidding for a project, when you go for a biddings, so there is a lot of chance for them to show their potentials. So in that case, you need to know why HANA is working fast. So what is the working principle behind the HANA? So that's what we are going to look in this steps. Okay. So how HANA is working? So how it's better than other tools, and what is the future of HANA? So we will look into it. So these two are theoretical parts, and the third part is HANA Studio overview. So we have a HANA Studio kind of tool, which is a client where you are going to connect with a server. Okay, the Studio overview. So how to touch it, how to navigate it, where to click, what to do. So kind of navigation perspective will get you. So the next part is HANA data modeling. Almost about 50% of HANA comes under the data modeling part, actually, frankly speaking. So even certification service perspective, HANA data modeling holds about 70% of importance. And since it holds high importance, what we'll do is we will teach you HANA data modeling in two ways. One is with starting with a simple example. So how to navigate, how to install, how to connect, everything will start and we'll create that data modeling perspective. And then we'll go to the hard data model. So there you will learn what data to be placed in where, how to architect your data. So how to create a views. So that kind of perspective we will look into deeply with SAP HANA data model. There are some advanced data modeling concepts which include hierarchies, measures, variables, currency conversion, of course. So SQL script-based procedures, we will look into it. So everything's are advanced data modeling. So there are people still in the market speaking that if you know data modeling, you are a HANA consultant. Actually, that's not true, but a lot of people are believing that. So data modeling is something important when HANA comes up. Okay. No interview or no presentation or nothing finish up without speaking the word data modeling. Okay. So the next and here I stop. Any doubts?
No, that's good. Go ahead.
Okay. So the next part is SAP HANA native development. Actually, what it means is it's the concept of making a product development. So what I mean as a product development is You have your Android applications, you have your iOS applications. So everything is getting connected with your databases, and you are making an interaction with your database through your mobile application or through a web portal, which is a kind of product management. So such kind of product development can be done within the database system. Generally, we have a database layer, an application layer, and a presentation layer. So three layers comes into the picture for a product. So here you have only the database layer and only the presentation layer. So you simplify the process and you improve the process and performance issues. So when you make your product with SAP HANA, that is when the complete database is in memory, and when it gets connected with your UI, you will get a tremendous performance when you use SAP HANA native development. So that's the advantage of SAP HANA native development. Am I clear with native development? One important thing is no one in the market teaches this because
Yes.
because it needs the complete administration role for creating it. So generally for the trainees as well as for the unknown people, people will not grant the complete administration privilege. So that is the main barrier to learn native development. It is a very powerful tool, and now this requirement is lying at the peak. Nowhere the HANA data models alone required, people are expecting the HANA native developers also. So these guys are called as the developers, they are called as data modelers. So if you learn native development, you will be seen with a unique skill in the market. Yeah, now you can ask your question.
So, so is this like an what would be the OS mainly it goes with? Is it like an Windows, or is it like an OS X or Linux? Who is the actual?
Actually, in terms of OS perspective, do you mean where you install HANA Studio, or do you mean something else?
Yes. The base HANA, where it goes? Is it like an how when we say like the application layer, database layer, and presentation layer? Like, I mean, usually we see like the application front end can go with any of the platforms most of the times. But the database layer, or when we talk about the storing of the DDM and the data, actual data, the raw data, and what layer it will be, like 100% goes with mix. Like, is it like an Windows, like an Windows architecture data storage and on this role, or is it like an Linux based operating system is required with SAN storages
Actually,
and all
server
these
is Linux SUSE based operating system. For your question is Linux SUSE based operating system where the HANA server is installed. But where you are going to install the HANA Studio is completely Windows based for user based comparison. It doesn't mean that it cannot be installed in Linux or it cannot be installed in Mac. It doesn't mean. But for your compatibility issues as well as for your user friendliness, you are starting with Windows. But when you go for a server based installation, it is completely Linux SUSE based server.
Okay. So you mean like an application, the front end, whatever we do all this browsing or generating reports, it can be in Windows, and other than that server, everything lies in Linux.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Good enough.
Okay. So
Is,
here
is
we
it
will
is it the
teach HANA
SUSE
native
or the Red Hat one? Which one is it?
SUSE,
IBM.
definitely SUSE.
Okay, SUSE. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough. Right.
Yeah. So other than that, in native development perspective, we will teach an introduction to SAP UFA as well. Okay. So SAP UFA is an UI development technique. So we will give an introduction to it, not a complete one. We will give an overview of it. So if you are interested, basically we will teach you the remaining parts. Okay, after the session. So that is not SAP HANA doesn't have the SAP UI curriculum along with it. But for native development, you need to showcase your product in an UI, right? So we will teach you how to develop a web portal. It's a simple one actually. So we will look into
Too
that
many
part.
modules, I guess.
Sorry.
Is it too many modules?
Not exactly. Actually, what HANA Net Development does is all the application logics are developed within the database itself. But when you do all the application logics within the database, you need to show the results, right? For that, you need to use a web portal or a mobile application. In that case, SAP UFA comes into the picture. So it is in shortly what I would say is you are going to display it. That's it. It's a rendering perspective. So other than that, it's not going to play any role. Do I clear in my point? Jay?
Yes. I mean, while I was working, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Hello?
can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right
I
now,
can
I'm
hear you.
working with SQL Server as a backend, and SAP is like connecting to the SQL Server databases and they're doing the reports, all those things, and they do by themselves. Like they refresh the data, they create the tables, I mean, multiple millions of tables, I mean, hundreds of tables with millions of rows, all those things within a minute or like in a few within a half an hour. And all the time, what they keep on asking or requesting the DBAs like me or architects is like, refresh or dump the table or something like that. Most of the time, they do all their own kind of database creation, table creations, migrations, all those things. So I believe that SAP has all this, all these tools, the right tools in place to do all those things. I believe like when,
Exactly.
yeah.
You asked the right question and you answered right.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah,
I was like struggling with them every day, and I was like surprised. Like we are having a two different teams of like development team and the DBA team and the architecture team and the modeling team in the normal database world. But
yes,
SAP guys are totally different. They only have a two guys called architect and the developer, low-level developer. That's it. Man, everyone is taking care of their own things and A to Z, and they have all of them in place, and they're doing everything by themselves. I was like surprised, like why don't they need anything else? And they keep like, oh no, we know everything what we do, and we don't have to take any help for the DBA while migrating all those things. So that's really cool. Then I thought, okay, this is the right place where we can learn this SAP, and they are moving to HANA. And really surprised with them, and they keep on, escalating things for us because we never came into the picture. I'm a senior there, so they keep telling me and all this, explaining me the scenarios. I got the situation now. That's really, it's really, fun learning SAP. But while learning the SAP, I also thought it would be really a seriousness. They need to go with it and play with it. What we are doing, really, there are millions of, trillions of billions of records I am seeing every day flowing within the records. So this is a really good fun thing. Like, and how many other chapters we are left without?
yeah. So we have the next two chapters. So next part is with analytics part. So you know the hypeboard, the current area is analytics. So everyone is running behind analytics. So what we do is all the machine learning algorithms. I mean, what when I say all means most of the machine learning algorithms are implemented within your database. So you no need to write the algorithms from scratch. So everything was available within the SAP HANA itself. So what you need to do is you need to just call your regression algorithms or your clustering algorithms within your HANA system, and you need to generate the results. So only thing what you need to know which algorithm to be used for what. So how to handle within SAP HANA system. So this is the current research area, and when we started at the range of now, actually the current version of SAP is SPS 10. So when we started as SPS 6, they have one or two few algorithms. Now they updated like anything. There are a lot of data scientists are working in the backend, and the algorithm standards was improving like anything. So that generally when you speak in terms of analytics, two things are very much important. So the main goal is to attain accuracy. The second one is so how we are going to establish that is so we need a perfect designed predictive model and accurate data. So if you assume a stock exchange, right? So a stock exchange by morning 10 o'clock, they have a scenario. Just assume airlines share is at the peak level. Okay. So you want to predict how it's going to be done after 2 or 3 days. So that is your requirement. So what happens current scenario is they will fetch all the real-time data and they will load into another repositories where like R or a kind of statistical tools will be exploring that, and they will apply their predictive models and they generate results after 6 or 7 hours. Whereas if you use HANA, you can generate results within 3 minutes. So that's the real-time data analytics needs. So that's the power of SAP HANA. So that is currently our current research area. So we will give you a very good introduction. So we cannot cover all the data analytics area, but we will cover it up the important data analytics part where you can learn the data analytics part with respect to SAP. Okay. So the current niche area is analytics part, how it can be handled within SAP HANA. So that part we will teach you. Okay. So the final one is securities. So how to create a new roles, how to create a user, how you are going to authorize them, how you are going to swap it out. So we will look into security perspective. Final one is we have some projects with real-time implementation case studies. If you are interested, you can take that after the course completion. So this is about the syllabus, and for your learning perspective, we will give you an Amazon account. with $100 credit, you can utilize for your learning. So the next 100 hours is completely free for your learning perspective. So you can deal it up completely. For example, how to install, how to practice, everything will start from the scratch. From the configuration perspective, everything owns to you. So you are the core admin, so you hold the entire access. So you can even crash your system and you can rebuild your data center within the next 20 minutes. So that's the advantage of cloud. We'll go with Amazon. Okay. So this is the syllabus and this is the accessories. So now, if you have any questions, let me
Like I want to learn the most of the time, the real time, what you deal with in a real time environment situations like crashings, requirements, and the user stories like that. If you have any kind of no on the basis like an if on fly solutions like what we give in the database world. So I know you're really experienced and I got you from experience and what you're explaining me. I got, so I want your expertise in the real time, all the solutions, all of that will be helpful for me. You know, but
Yeah,
cracking
so
there,
what
like
I will
you
do
work
is,
in India, right? Are you in India or somewhere in US?
yeah, of course. I'm in India. I'm in India.
Okay. You know how this American guys go, right? And when we are talking to them, either they will learn only HANA or they will only learn SAP, nothing else. They don't know another A or another B letter B out of this SAP. So
Yeah.
when we want to deal with this kind of clients, we should be learn and we should be fortified with 100% of all our real time, almost near to the real time kind of scenarios. We need to explain them. It's not like and we Indians when tend to learn like many languages as it comes, grab it in the market, and we keep learning it and we keep doing all this kind of experiments. But these guys are not like that.
Yeah.
They will stick to a single subject, single line, and they will expertise in that, and they'll become a guru or masters in that place. So to deal with these kind of situations, I need to know the real-time scenarios and how to tackle those things. And from you like expertise,
Definitely,
I
what
feel.
I will do is, so when and then and there. For example, if you deal with native data modeling, I will tell you my real-time case study. So what's the requirement which comes up, how we deal, what are the problems we face, everything, and to end I will cover it. Actually, in your case perspective, you are really interested to learn. So some case studies people never ask about the question. However, I will add my views because they may, after the class completion, after 1 or 2 months, they may go and attend the interview. So at least for their interview perspective, they need to tell what is the real-time challenges. So in that
I know.
perspective, I will cover it up
Those are like
completely.
a lot of fakes are coming up. That's the reason they learn today and they go for interview
Yeah,
and crack the. Someone else will be taking the call because in SAP no one can ask them to come face to face and they can't give a real-time solutions to them. It's different.
yeah,
It's
definitely.
different to tackle with SAP. I have been in the interview panel for a few of the interviews, and because I'm in the database and the backend guy, so I used to keep asking them few of the very, very core questions to how they deal with SAP or SAP when it is dealing with a database and modeling all those stuff with the database called SQL Server or Oracle, whatever they go with. I know the people have been like doing anything. Oh my God, I have seen all those kind of stories,
Yeah,
real-time
this
stories.
is,
Yeah.
yeah. So in my expectation, don't worry about it. So I will cover completely the
Yes.
as much as possible.
Right. Thank you, buddy.
Okay, and the
Thanks.
examples and
Yeah.
documentation will be really helpful. So what I would suggest is, so whatever the documentation you provide, which will be really helpful for you,
Yeah.
even after the years. So even if you get expertise, so I am basically after getting some amount of expertise, I am basically referring the same documentation. So
Yeah.
definitely it will help you over there in terms of
Sure,
okay.
definitely. Thanks a lot. And by the way, I want to let you know I had before starting this course, and I need at least 1 to 2 weeks of time, at least at this month end. I need at least this month end because I'm in
Okay.
a part of a very busy schedule right now. I can't actually. I'm a 24/7 working DBA. I'm an on call, all those things. So right now there is a huge
Oh,
migration
okay.
going on. Yeah, so I can't actually tell like which time and what time I used to do. I work from home, but I won't have a time to take my dinner or
Okay.
the breakfast also sometimes.
Oh no.
So,
Okay.
right, so
No
I
issues.
at least
So I
give
am
me a
flexible in
few
time
weeks.
perspective.
Yeah,
So after you join the course, I will just you can give me mobile number and you can just
sure.
ping me if you are not able to join today. Just ping me, and I am flexible in time perspective. So according
That's
to
good.
your availability and my availability, we can schedule. We need not stick to the time, and I don't want to waste your time.
Sure, Siva. Yeah. I don't want to you tackle you like, and when you are online and I'm not there, it will be embarrassed, all those things. So I've gone through these things. So that's fine.
Definitely,
Thanks a
it's a
lot.
nice
Yeah.
speaking with you.
Yeah. Nice speaking to you
Your,
too.
your, your learning is really impressive. So whatever the questions you feel, it's very rare people comes in this way. So I'm really
Right.
happy with
Yeah.
you too. So
Yeah.
we'll look
Taking
forward
to a
to our next.
different path, like almost a U-turn, doesn't help anyone. It has to be stick with their own course. They have to know what they're going to learn next few things, and it's not like sit with a single subject is not going to help in mainly in US, nothing anywhere else. You can survive in the world, but not here. Oh my God, there is a
Yes.
lot of a lot of demand and a lot of stepping stones here, and people are like crazy. Anyway, I'll talk to
Definitely.
Venkat, and I will also share my number with you, and I'll let you know once we are comfortable and we can go ahead. At least as I told you, like it is 2 to 3 weeks of time I require definitely. Before that, I can't do it
Sure.
anyway because I keep traveling, and right now I'm working for Dell.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, Dell is
Okay.
in Austin, Round Rock.
Okay. I mean, whether Dell is using SAP HANA projects internally, I know they are doing administration outside. So are they
Yeah,
doing internally?
yeah, they are doing the e-commerce sites on their one, and I'm right now migrating all those internal e-commerce sites now.
Okay, okay. So whether they are moving to SAP HANA or some other.
They are in SAP HANA, and they want to actually they have only a small footprint right now, like almost like I can say we may differentiate between like only 5 to 8%, I guess. It's not much, but now they are moving to
Okay,
in a
okay.
full-fledged way, and they are actually implementing a SQL
Okay.
Server with big data, and they want to explore the
Mm-hmm.
cloud environment now with SQL Server, Azure, and Microsoft Azure. So I have a cloud
Okay,
experience,
okay.
so they want me to handle this team, and I'll be there with them for a few months at least.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Shiva, nice talking to
Today,
you.
very nice
Thank you.
talking with you. So looking forward to chat with you.
Sure, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to Venkat, and have a good evening. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Bye.
Bye.
Venkat, you there?
Bye, Agat. Bye, Jay.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
So, Venkat, I think you heard like what I'm talking to Shiva, right?
Yes.
So, I will let you know like at least I need 2 to 3 weeks of time
Okay.
to move with this training.
Okay, I'll
Okay?
speak in Skype. Okay. Bye.
Sure.